Hi friends, I bought a 2006 Toyota Highlander Hybrid, and I'll just share with you why and my reasoning and behind the purchase. And we had been saving for replacing a vehicle for the last probably year and a half, and the money got to a certain point, and Tammy and I had been discussing what vehicle we're going to buy. I'm going to tell you how we arrived to the Toyota Highlander. That's the only problem I have with it is too much word. SUV, there's no short for it, so I'll just call it the truck based on a car. Stop. Steering wheel to the face. I was watching crash test ratings of the 86 Toyota pickup that I drive, and that's what you're going to see. Steering wheel to the face. It didn't look pleasant to me, and I was thinking, I'd probably rather hit my face into an airbag and maybe even have a curtain airbag. And so started looking around. My wife had been talking to me the last couple of years about a Honda Pilot. Now, a recession is coming, and people are overpricing stuff on Craigslist crazy. People are out asking, $10,000 for a Toyota Highlander with 200,000 miles on it. I kid you not. People are just nuts, and I don't want to have to drive to Memphis, Tennessee or something to get one. So in my area, they're just way overpriced right now. And so I started looking around and saw that there was a plethora last month of Toyota Highlanders. And I saw one for sale that was a hybrid. And so I was debating between a blue one that just had the 3.3 liter V6 in it and the hybrid. Well, I did my research on the hybrid, and what I've discovered is that the batteries are lasting over 200,000 miles easily. And so, yeah, and there's a lot of good Highlanders out there. The battery's not what wears out on the cars. What ends up wearing out on the cars, believe it or not, is wheel bearings and suspension parts before the batteries go bad. But people always come up to you, battery, what about the battery? I'm like, I don't think that's something to really worry about. Unless you're going to drive the car 300,000 miles, you might have to replace the battery somewhere in the over 200,000 mile mark, somewhere in there. Anyway, went for the blue, called for the blue, see if the blue Highlander, and it was sold. So then we went over to look at the white Toyota Highlander, and it's just an excellent condition. The interior is still very, very, it's like it's a couple of years old. No scratches, no abrasions, everything's as it should be. Everything looks good. There's a couple of places where it's starting to, the driver's seat getting in and out. There was a couple of slits there in the leather. But the car had 110,000 miles on it, and drove it around, and it's just an excellent condition. Beyond just being cleaned, like detailed, it's just clean. Under the motor, everything still looks very new. Underneath, looking underneath the car. Of course, I believe in buying from a private party, but the only other Highlanders I saw is there was one that was selling a Highlander, and they wanted $9,000 for a Highlander with 197,000 miles on it. And that's 2 hours away. And it's just like, are you crazy? It has 200,000 miles on it. And I'm getting so tired of these people that say, well, it's a Toyota, it's a Honda, it'll go for 400. No, it won't. I've driven them. At about 250, they start to really fade. And you start losing parts before 300,000. If you make it to 300,000, you limp across the line, and you'd let the car just kind of fall to pieces, and you go buy another car. That's how it works. American cars, you drive them 150,000 miles, and between 150 and 200,000 miles, they start to give you all kinds of issues and troubles, and then you just have to make that decision for yourself whether it's worth it or not to limp it over 200,000 miles. But yeah, anyone one-eyed half sense knows that Asian cars go further. They do. but they just kind of tend to about 250 to 300,000 just to fall to pieces. My wife and I experienced this. We had a wagon that had over 270,000, Toyota wagon, Camry wagon, and the piece of plastic just broke off from the wind and flew back and hit the back of the windshield. And we were looking at each other and going, I think it's time to sell. It starts telegraphing, and we sold it for $600. Said it's, it's old. Now some people, they have 270,000 miles on their Camry and they think they're going to sell it for $8,000. That tells you recession's coming. That's just nuts. That's nuts. I don't care who you are. That is insane. If anybody buys a car with 270,000 miles on it and pays $10,000, they are crazy. That's just insane. So anyway, let somebody believe that a Toyota will go 400,000 miles, and any car will go 400,000 miles if you throw enough money at it. Just keep throwing the money at it. Anyway, driving the Toyota 86 pickup was raising the probability of steering wheel to the face. And so I didn't like that. So I decided that I should start driving the truck more for, when I need to load risers, when I need to go to the dump, things like that, and get a car that's got more safety features. And that is something you really have to consider. It's something you really have to look at when you're looking at buying a car. I mean, you want to get in that sweet spot, and you also want to think about safety, because the Toyota pickup has a seatbelt. That's it. The Impala and now the Highlander, they have, this Highlander has airbag that shoots at your legs, an airbag that shoots out of the door, an airbag that shoots to your face, and a curtain airbag. And then an airbag that shoots out of the door in the rear on both sides. So if you roll, it shoots airbags out of the door. I mean, it's just insanely overbuilt. This is a 2006 Toyota Highlander. And so I spent a little more money than I wanted to on it. But you pay a premium for quality, for excellent, for it being in great condition. And it was. I had it inspected by two mechanics, an independent mechanic and then by the Toyota dealership. And it's good to go. I had the things flushed, and I do my maintenance schedule. I just update the maintenance schedule. And so, yeah, the timing belt was changed at 88,000 miles. It's a good vehicle. Should be good for us. It should run for a while. Am I worried about the battery? No, I did a lot of research. I literally circumvented the globe on these Priuses. They're using these Prius for taxis. So I studied that, and I saw that they were going 1/4 to 500,000 miles with these batteries in taxis, the hardest driving you can put on them. And so I'm pretty confident the battery should hang in there. And even if it doesn't, there's cheaper ways to buy the battery now. Something I can talk to you about if I go through that. But I don't think it'll be an issue. It could be if somebody blocked the vents, that owned it before me, or did something dumb, but I think the car's good to go. Anyway, that's what turned me. Safety. Especially after my injury, I think about that. If I got hit in that truck, and man, that could break you up. That could really hurt you badly without airbags. And with the Impala, with all its state-of-the-art electronics on it. That's another thing, is this car has electronic stability control, and it has ABS brakes. And we'll talk more about the hybrid system. But I'm really pleased with the car. We drove it all the way to Canada and back, and it's just a well-running machine. They're just a great car. It's built on the Toyota Camry, 2002 to 2006 Toyota Camry chassis, and it's a glorified Camry, and it's just really a fine automobile. I can't rave enough about it. It's 11 years old. When they bought this vehicle, it was $42,000. I bought it 11 years later for 10. Get your mind around that. $42,000 11 years ago. If I'd have paid $42,000 for this vehicle, I would have driven it 200,000 miles. I would have. I'd have taken care of it and done the maintenance schedule and driven it 200,000 miles to just at least get my $42,000 back. And that was 2006. I saw one when I was getting it serviced I saw today this exact same car, not much of an upgrade, 3.5 liter instead of the 3.3 liter, and same hybrid system. They're now going for $57,000. I'll wait 11 years and buy it for 10 with 100,000 miles on it. Anyway, just want to share that with you. Some of you are going to notice me driving a different vehicle, and that's primarily the reason. It's what happened. It's what happens to all of us. We start saying, hey, this car's kind of getting unsafe. I don't know if I almost got hit twice this last winter in the little truck. And you start thinking about that. Do you want to walk away, or do you want to hobble away, or maybe be broken up? As you get older, you have to think about those things. And I'm telling you, cars are getting safer and safer. The next vehicle we buy will have that automatic braking system. That is just great. You're not paying attention, a kid runs out or whatever, it senses that it has an eye and it senses that it stops. That is just fantastic. I love having that in the future, one of my future automobiles. But most likely the next automobile I will buy will be a hybrid motor. You drive the electric around town, and then, you know, when you're going a longer trip, you use the gas. I think that's probably the future of where we're going. But the problem with that, what may stop that, is cheap gas. I did not buy this Highlander Hybrid for the fuel efficiency. I bought it for the horsepower. The regular has 230 horsepower. This, with the 3 electric motors, has 270 horsepower. Yeah, it'll move. And it has a lot of torque with those electric motors. It will flat out move. 0 to 70 or 0 to 60 with me driving 7.3 seconds. For an SUV, that's smoking fast. It's fun. And it's got this intelligent 4-wheel drive. I don't put much stock in 4-wheel drive, but if you start to slip, what will happen is the back wheels will grip to compensate. They'll kick in. Not really 4-wheel drive. Glorified front-wheel drive, I guess. It's not really 4-wheel drive. But it's nice. So, yeah. I'll let you know how it goes. Fun car. I like it. My wife likes it because she's sitting all up high. She can see now. I can see the first time in my life. That is nice about these SUVs. You can see. People pull the turn. You're not blind, you know. See why people like them. Have a good one. Talk to you more about it. Bye.